Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Attack on Productions. Fluff here, coming back with another deck profile. But before we get into it, do all the YouTubey stuff, like, subscribe, do whatever the hell you want. We don't care too much. Well, we do care, but we're not going to beg you for it. We love you either way. So, looking at the deck we've got today, we've got the set 14 Hirudegarn leader. I've had a couple iterations of this deck. I tested it initially online with Nick a couple times, and I was not super impressed with the deck. It kind of felt like Sen Shenron, the black Sen Shenron stuff, where it did a lot of fancy things, but then couldn't advance the game state and then couldn't advance it. So I kind of retweaked it, retooled it, identified things that it needed, and this is what I came up with. I played it at locals this last weekend, was really quite successful with it. Got one game on camera, and then the other games weren't on camera because it actually had the tendency to take the games incredibly long, and there was a lot of blue on blue matchups, and we didn't want to put blue on the channel, even though I think it's really relevant for this meta. So looking at the leader, just to kind of summarize it, the leader has the best type of, on the front side, has the best type of draw search effect in the game, where basically when you attack you take a life, you look at the top 5, you add any card amongst those top 5s, and you don't have to reveal it to your opponent because it's just any one card, add it to your hand, and then you discard a card if you added a card, which the deck really likes to do. So it's kind of like Cell Surge in that aspect, where it gets to kind of peep top 5 and add anything that you just happen to need at that point. And then you can awaken at 4 or less, or if you have a Tapion and Minutia in the drop area, and then you go down to 5 life. Honestly, we're not worried about that Tapion Minutia awakening because we want to stay on the front side really long enough to get that off 2 or 3 times. So we're not going to pressure too much about trying to get a Tapion and Minutia to get awakened as soon as possible. Even though on the backside we are pretty strong. So on the backside, when you attack, you draw 1. When you activate the Evolve skill on one of your blue battle cards from your hand, you get to draw 1 and then activate battle once per turn. You place 2 cards under one of your cards into the drop area, and then choose one of your cards against 5,000 for the battle. So it's just a nice little combo piece that you can advantage off of. So that's the leader. The leader's honestly pretty good, especially on the front side, and then it's essentially a draw 2 on this side if everything works out well. So first, I guess, is what we'll call the Hoi engine. And it's not really an engine, it's just 2 cards that happen to be Hoi. The first is the Unison. The Unison is what I would consider to be a +2 Unison, because he's got an auto once per turn. If a card is played from your drop area, or it's one of your blue Phantom Demons, if it's played from your drop area, you add 1 marker to this card. So it may cost a Spirit Boost to do that, but you're going to add a marker to this card for spending the marker, or sometimes you can do it without Spirit Boost and then you just add another marker. The +1 is draw 1, discard 1, which the deck loves to discard stuff, so you'll kind of see that as we get there. And then -3, activate main. You choose one of your blue Phantom Demon cards with an energy cost of 7 or less in your drop area and add it back to your hand, which is really nice for getting, when your opponent thinks that maybe you're done, getting those cards back in your hand. This Unison isn't very threatening on the face, and it's not. It's more of an enabler and a cycler for the deck, so your opponent won't pressure it too hard. And if they do decide to do it, we have plenty of ways to protect it through blockers and stuff like that. So 4 of those, that's the only Unison that we play. You could opt to run Labu or something like that, but I didn't feel the need for it. And then on super combos, I do run Hoi, Emissary of Flame. The main reason that I run this is because the deck does like to discard things to the drop area, and this is a discard 1, draw 2. Now you could opt to play the Vegeta combo where you bottom deck 1, draw 2. And actually, it was kind of my inclination to play this card like that at first, where I would start to put a card on the bottom of the deck, and I'm like, oh no, it's Hoi, you've got to discard. So Hoi is great. We played it 4. You have to be at 4 or less life, but other than that, it's a fantastic super combo. It was the first OG really good super combo. Then next, we're going to go into our hero engine. I do run 3 different heroes, and maybe this will surprise you, maybe it won't. I run 4 of the 1-drop Minutia Calamity Challengers. So these are going to be, they're 1-drops, but more importantly, limit 1 auto if they're discarded from your hand to the drop area. you get to play them for free. So they are a 4,000 blocker. There's no barrier. But what's really important for this is usually the starting point for our chain. So we'll use Minosha, and then we'll put one of the Phantom Demon Hirudegarns on top of Minosha. So we'll go over that when we get there. But we do run 4 of those. Then I run 4 of Tapion, Fate of the Hero. So this card is a blue-green card, but you can play it for a blue or a green on an activate main. He's a 15,000 blocker. We don't care about his bottom effect here. The only effect that we care about is draw 1 card and then play him from the drop area at the end of the turn. So if we use this, we get to draw, and then we get a 15,000 body blocker that is also a hero that we can use as a starting point. So these are really important through like turn 1, turn 2, and getting those survivals and protecting the Unisons and making sure that we don't want to awaken until we want to awaken. So I love this card. I think it's fantastic to get a 4 of. I wouldn't second guess that. And then next, I do run 4 of the Tapion Calamity Challenger. This card is fantastic out of set 14. It's an EX Evolve for 2 on top of a Hirudegarn with an energy cost or a Tapion with an energy cost 2 or less. So the blue-green does satisfy that condition. When he's played, you draw 1. He's a double strike. But most importantly, limit 1, Spirit Boost 1 for 1 energy. You can play him from the hand. As long as you have 3 or more energy. So Hoy does satisfy the conditions for his Spirit Boost. So for 1 energy, we can put a 20,000 double strike on the field that can bait out opponents' counterplays or the reaction tools before we start investing more energy and resource into our Phantom Demon plays. So those are really all the heroes that we play. We don't really play anything else. It's more than enough to get us through the game. I didn't feel the need to play more. I didn't feel the need to play less. I saw them as I wanted to. Then looking at the Phantom Demon chain, first off, we've got what I think is the most important card of the deck. It's the Hirudegarn Catastrophic Comeback. This card does a ton. So he has 3 activate mains. On the first activate main, we can choose one of our heroes on field and play him from the drop area on top of the hero. So it basically gives us an evolve from the drop area on this Hirudegarn to start our Hirudegarn chain. Secondly, if we don't control a Phantom Demon card, we can Spirit Boost 1 for 1 blue energy to play this guy out of the drop area. So if we don't have a hero set up and, say we're playing against green and our opponents cleared our field, or we're playing against red and they've cleared our field, for 1 blue energy and a Spirit Boost 1, we can play this guy out of the drop area, which is incredibly relevant. His last effect on Activate Main, which is also a limit 1, if this guy's in your hand, you can discard him to the drop area to search the top 7 for another blue Phantom Demon card. So this is a great way to get the 5 and 7 drops into your hand. So this card does a lot for the deck. It really moves the deck in a very positive way. This card puts in a ton of work. It is only a 9,000. It's super respondable. Your opponent can respond to it, but you're not spending energy usually to that response. Your opponent won't hit this card most of the time. They won't hit it. So this card puts in a ton of work and it moves the deck where we need to be. Then kind of the first EX Evolve target in the deck is the 5-drop Hirudegarn Catastrophic Combination. This is a 15,000 barrier dual attack. EX Evolve for 1 blue energy on top of a Hirudegarn with an energy cost of 3. And then his auto, when it's played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards with an energy cost of 4 or less, return it to its owner's hand. So this card is really fantastic for putting cards back into your opponent's hand and denying them access to it. But then also activate main, limit 1 for 2 energy. If your opponent has 4 more energy, choose up to 1 green Hirudegarn with an energy cost of 6 in your hand and play it on top of this card. So I think that effect is a red herring for the deck. So initially when I built the deck, I was using the engine to try to put the 6-drop in on the field and then play the 9-drop on top of the 6-drop. And what that did is it kind of convoluted my energy pool and it made my hands a little too complicated to be consistent. So I cut out the entire green Hirudegarn package. So I don't even run 1 of to try to get that effect off. Honestly, you don't care about it. You don't need it. So we're really just playing this as an EX Evolve to return 1 card on the field back to the hand and pass from there. We can swing, get 1, restand it, and then EX Evolve into the 7-drop, or just pass turn, or swing twice and let our opponent try to battle through this card. It's honestly fantastic. I love this card. And then the last piece of the EX Evolve chain is going to be Hirudegarn Calamity Complete. This is the 7-drop. I run this at a 3 of. You search and scry your deck so much that 3 of, I never felt like I was missing it. And I feel like 4 of would have been kind of blocky with a 1/10,000 combo. But he has an EX Evolve for 2 on top of a Hirudegarn with an energy cost of 5. And then he's played, you draw 1 card, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards, put it on the bottom of the deck. Then at the end of the turn, you're going to switch this guy and one of your blue energy to active mode the turn that it's played. Most importantly, and as our game ender on an activate main, you can choose 2 hero cards in your drop area, place them into your warp, and then this card gains triple strike for the turn. So he becomes a 30,000 triple strike that on the turn he's played will get to restand and restand one of your energy. So if you tap out to play this guy out, no worries. He kind of has the Abuni effect where he will restand one of your energy to leave you defensive on your opponent's crackback. So this card is really good. It was kind of a lightning bolt for my opponent's removal effects or Mafubas, anything like that they had in hand to try to stop this card or deal with this card. And at multiple points, I had 2 of these guys on field where, you know, I was able to get 2 triple strikes going. The opponent would negate one, but then wouldn't be able to negate the other. And then we do also run the baby ape in here, so we'll be able to counter a counter to get in with a triple strike on this. And it can really become pretty big and pretty impressive with 2 of these guys on the field at once. So that completes the Hirudegarn chain. So one of the initial problems that I had with the deck was finding something that I could use in the deck to supplement what the deck wanted to do. And kind of provide another layer of versatility to the deck. So I decided to run a bit of the Bojack Brigade engine. So I'm running 3 of the Bojack the Evildoer. So he's a 1-cost combo, 5,000, dual attack 20,000. For 2 energy, you can play for a blue and a colorless. You get to play him from your drop area after he was used, or play him from your combo area at the end of the battle that he was used in a combo from energy or hand. And then when he's played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, place it at the bottom of the deck. So it's fantastic disruption, and it's pressure on a 20,000 dual attack. There's nothing bad about this card. It can be expensive if you're paying 1 from hand to combo him and then paying 2. That feels kind of bad if you have to do that, but we do run Raise to circumvent it. Then I run 2 of the Bojack on a Rampage. So this guy a little bit more costly. We could use this EX Evolve for 1 blue to draw 2 cards. But most importantly, we want to, on a combo with him for 4 energy, we're going to be able to play him. And then we'll draw 1 card, put one of the opponent's battle cards on the bottom of the deck. And then it plays this card in rest mode. So what's really interesting about that effect is if your opponent counterplays the Bojack, on its way in, you still get the bottom deck and draw a card effect because the play is not required for those other 2 effects. And I didn't notice that until the last match last night. And I was like, holy crap, this card is absolutely bonkers. Then while it's in rest mode, if your opponent attacks with a battle card, you choose one of your blue energies, switch it to active mode, and then choose one of their energies and switch it to rest mode, which if you know me, I love Chappelle. It's like one of my favorite cards in the game. So this really reminds me of a big body, double strike, dual attack Chappelle, essentially. I mean, you are paying 4 energy minimum to put him out, but he's well worth it on the disruption. So to mitigate the energy cost of those, we do run Galactic Buster at a 4 of. So during your opponent's turn, during your battle, activate battle, you can use Galactic Buster, combo with one of the cards from your energy, so either Bojack card, and then put Galactic Buster in your energy in active mode, draw 1 card, and then you can use the active mode Galactic Buster as part of the energy cost to pay to get that card out. So if you're on 3 open energy and you Galactic Buster, you combo with a Bojack, Galactic Buster goes in your energy, gives you the 4 that you need to activate his effect, and then typically Galactic Buster would tap one of your energy at the end of the battle as well. But if you're tapping out, it's perfectly fine. Or even if you're not tapping out, like if you're just playing the 4-drop Bojack, which you only need 2, if you have 3 energy, you're still left with 1 energy open. So that's the extent of the Bojack. I didn't feel the need for the double strike Betos or anything like that. Then kind of moving on to the defensive utility package, I do run 3 Sensu Bean because it's blue. Sensu Bean does a lot for us, especially on our opponent's turn. I run 4 Dimension Magic because why the hell not? I run 4 Trunks because Trunks is busted and gets past pretty much everything in the game, especially now that we're in a very mid-game Fu Shrouded Mystery is very relevant. 5-drop apes are very relevant, and we just want to be able to deal with those. So 4 of those unconditionally. We do run 1 baby Golden Avenger. This is just a counter, especially when we're going to go in with our triple attack on our Hirudegarn. We'll use this to make sure the triple attack gets through. It gives us a body, it gives us a draw. If we're in the blue mirror match, it's probably going to get Trunks back to your hand or babied in return, whichever, it happens. And then last but not least, we do run 1 baby Hatchiyak. This is just for survival. And in one of the games this weekend, someone actually hit my baby hatch with a Trunks, and I got to use Hatch twice. It was absolutely busted as an interaction, and basically won me the game.
Look, just pointing out real quick, interrupting his video. That's because we don't take back our plays.
Yeah. When we make a play, we go for it. So I threw down Baby Hatch, and he was like, yeah, Trunks, get rid of that shit. I was like, okay, the counter still happens, and it goes back to my hand instead of hitting the fill.
I was like, wait, what have I done? What have I done?
And I was like, thanks. I get another turn under Baby Hatch. It was really nice. I almost decked out because of it, but I ended up winning also because of it. So that and Count is the Hirudegarn deck. I just want to say this deck draws like a beast. I almost decked out in one of my matches that was not a mill match, by the way. It also wasn't a Slug or Sen Shenron match. I almost decked out. This deck draws a ton. It's super offensive when it needs to be. It's incredibly defensive a lot of the time. And really, you'll pass a lot of your turns with like 2 to 3 energy open. With a Senzu Bean, Dimension Magic, Baby Hatch, Galactic Buster in your hand, so you have tons of reaction on your opponent's turn. And I really think if you wanted to like cut a few pieces, you could add in stuff like Baby Gohan's Minion, because you absolutely have the energy to run those cards. But let me know what you think in the comments below. I love this format that we're in. U9 Assemble is back. Aggro's dead, baby. Like, let's get in. Let's do it. So I love it. This is the format that I live for. This is the type of deck that I love to play in this format. And this is just where I thrive. You all will see a lot of creative decks from me moving forward. So thanks guys so much. Read your cards, know your plays. Let us make the mistakes so that you don't have to. And as always, fluff out.